Welcome to the Crimeycade podcast. I am the mad conservative crime fighter. Uh, Note to our guest who is in the green room: you are turned sideways. You're at a 90-degree angle, so yes, you're probably want to fix that before I bring you in. Anyway, I don't know if he heard me or not. Everybody can hear me, okay? Yep, I think everybody can hear me. All right. Um, yeah, I'm waiting for a guest to get the camera corrected because he is turned sideways. It's 90-degree angle. Anyway, I gotta pull this off for a minute. Stop sharing. Where is this? Hold on a second. I thought I had my slide up. Here we go. Last week, that is the wrong thing. I thought I got the right thing up. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Live TV and silly little things happen and don't quite get it going correctly as I wanted to. There we go. All right. Welcome to the Crimeycade podcast. I am the mad conservative crime fighter. Last week our guests were Justin Tolliver and Robert Googs Severson, the producers of the For Your Amusement documentary that is going to be available for viewing on the later this month. An Atlanta, I wrote it down. The Atlanta Doc Fest, that will be March the 23rd. There will be a fee to pay to get access to all the documentaries, including the For Your Amusement documentary. Will make its world premiere on that date. Private streamings were held. There you go. There you go. You got. There you go. There you go, John. You got it. Got it. Well, you're going the wrong direction. Anyway, when I get you on there we go. We got it. There, you're straightened up now. There you go. Hold that angle. Anyway, if you didn't see the podcast, didn't listen to the podcast, go ahead and check it out. This documentary was shot at several locations across the United States. Stern Pinball. Gubbin Ghost didn't get this much attention, but some of the machines made the documentary. Got some footage for viewing shots and all that, and several interviews. Todd Tuckey, Eugene Jarvis makes appearances in the documentary. So check it out in a couple of weeks. And I'm about to be joined by the one who likes to crash my stream all the time. This guy. Jeez. Cody. Ugh. Better behave himself. Gamers are wanted. If you work in gaming, you're a touring competitor, create content, have no variety, you're a gaming fanatic. Let's talk. Should be aligned. Can contact me on Twitch at rap_sheet or facebook.com/Crimeycade. And of course, if you're not following me on Facebook and watching this on Twitch, be sure to follow me on Facebook. If you're watching this on Facebook, be sure to follow my Twitch channel, as this idiot here, is trying to show his dominance once again. Past episodes of the Crimeycade are on tiny.cc/PWCI, my YouTube channel. And by the way, I've had a lot of cat drama the last couple of weeks. Not this guy in particular, but my other one had her 4 canines removed. She had stitches. One of them got infected. She had to go back for a follow-up visit, get an antibiotic, then had to take her back for another follow-up to make sure the infection cleared up. It did. Got a lot of the stitches taken out. There's a few knots that are left, and hopefully they'll dissolve and fall out very soon, because darn, she wants them out. Oh, you want to see the cat again? This little furball? This little furball? Yeah, this little furball. This little furball. Yeah, this idiot. Yeah. Yeah, he is rotten. He is rotten. Vicious and a doggone killer. Anyway. Yeah. You like your attention, don't you? This ain't your show. This is mine. You think you're the host. Yeah, I'm sure. Daylight savings time. Did you know that? Daylight savings time starts this weekend. So you'll be moving your clocks forward. I know these earlier clock time changes have been catching a lot of people off guard. So be aware. The time changed this weekend. So sure set them clocks. And I have to keep putting up weekly posts about Beezer because it has not reached the Galpin Ghost Arcade floor yet. And I got thoroughly roasted about this game, thinking Doc Mac doesn't have it hiding somewhere in the vaults. So we have Concord 2.0, and the game that had the closing spot right before they announced what the game of the year was. High Guard didn't even last 3 months. 45 days. Yeah. The Grim Reaper has claimed another one, and Marathon has come online, and people are wondering, is it going to be Concord 3.0 shortly? But I think it's pretty clear to a lot of people, the public at large is pretty much tired of live service games, and they want the single player experience. And due to how much attention Resident Evil 9 is getting, they definitely want those single player offline experiences, not be constantly on the internet. Gosh, he's pulling my cord too. They don't want those, they want to be invested in these multiplayer live service games for hours and hours and hours on end. They want to play offline on their own or with friends off the servers. And Sarah Bond is out of Xbox after only 3 months. There's been a lot of speculation as to whether the brand's in trouble or it's going to be fizzling out very soon. Time will tell. There may be another console release after the Xbox One. Maybe there's going to be an Xbox 2. But, although there's been chatter about her replacement, and they're not real thrilled about that person either. So, what can you do? All right, I'm not going to keep my guest waiting. So, introducing to our guest for tonight. Now he's got the camera all straightened out and centered. Anyway. There's a arcade just up the road from Springfield, just south of Bloomington. Kind of an out-of-the-way place off Interstate 55, Route 66. This place is on the Triangle and in town. It's taken over a drugstore. It's taken over a bank. It's going to take over a former grocery store. It seems to be expanding more and more. And a major expansion is about to start sometime in the next few weeks or a few months. Introducing our guest, the owner of the Arcadia, America's Playable Arcade Museum, John Yates. Welcome in.
Thanks, Stephen. Good to be here.
So, I believe we're in the basement of Arcadia Unlimited right now, correct?
Yeah, that's right. This is where I've been holed up for the last 2 years, working 6 days a week, 8 to 12 hours a day, trying to get this expansion done. And I'm really close. Like you said, I'm within. I'm thinking it'll be by the end of March. I'll be able to open. We're real close now. So, yep. This is. I don't know if I can move this thing around, but this is my little workstation down here where I'll spin around. Got my little mobile computer and desk with all the tools, and this is where I've been repairing and restoring the 200 to 250 games that we're going to launch with in at the end of the month. So
No small feat.
no, and that's in addition to having to completely redo the floors, the HVAC system, the electrical system, the plumbing, the foundation in front. The waterproofing of the basement. Just all the construction, the framing, the lighting, the bathrooms. It's crazy. And I'm one of these guys that tries to do everything myself, and that's the problem. I need to learn to delegate.
You need a crew.
I do. I really need a crew. But the part I really enjoy more than anything, though, is working on the games. I just love pulling out a game that I bought 30 years ago and crammed into the warehouse. Haven't touched it since. I love pulling it out, plugging it in for the first time, looking to see what's wrong with it, and then addressing all the problems. I don't know, it just gives me that sense of satisfaction, every time you check one off and move on to the next one.
Yeah, I've got a cocktail game that I need that's been sitting in my garage, and I vowed to do all the woodwork on it first before trying to mess with electronics, and it's like been busy. I gotta go find wood and then cut a piece that will just match the piece that I had, the piece of plywood I had to rip off because it was just severely deteriorated.
Oh, is it an old Midway, like an old Pac-Man or Galaxian, or what is it?
No, it's a Space Firebird.
Oh, okay. Well, gosh, they made like 6 different Space Firebird cocktails, so that doesn't narrow it down much.
This is the Sega version.
Okay.
So it does have power. I don't know. The monitor does not light up. I don't know if it doesn't appear to play blind either. So,
yeah,
bought from somebody, but the monitors apparently are Mitsubishi, and those aren't. There's no cap kit that exists for those. So
yeah.
If the monitor is dead and no good, I'd have to throw the monitor out and get another one and match the voltage, which will be fun.
Yeah. It sounds like a real project.
Yeah, and I'm not any good with a soldering iron.
Oh.
I need to be taught how to do all this.
If I weren't so busy, I'd say bring it up here and I'll get it all going for you. But maybe hang on to it another year, and when I'm caught up on all this stuff, then bring it up to me and I can knock it out.
Well, I also want to learn how to fix it at the same time. So I may need a tutor. I think it's more of a tutoring exhibition.
Well, that's part of my problem. That's why I don't have any employees, because I'm terrible at showing people how to do stuff. I'm like the worst teacher in the world. I don't know. I think I lack the patience. I just don't know how to how to explain things. It's like I know how to do it, but how to tell you how to do it, it's never worked for me. I need people that are like super intuitive, and I finally found someone that meets all my criteria and seems to be able to figure stuff out on her own. It's my daughter, my youngest daughter. I've tried with all my daughters, and she actually did an internship with me over like winter break this just a couple months ago, and it worked out pretty well. She's I need someone that basically can figure stuff out without me explaining it. I just say, just do this. Here's roughly how you do it. You see if you can figure it out. And she was intuitive enough to do it. So she's probably going to start working for me when she graduates. We'll see.
So Tracy Gleave wants to know where's the arcade. It's in McLean, Illinois. So it's 150 miles south of Chicago on I-55, uh, between Lincoln, Illinois, and Bloomington. So, a
Yeah.
little bit out of the way, yes, but it's on the route going up to my usual destination, Galloping Ghost.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty well located just centrally with, equidistant from Springfield, Peoria, Champaign, and closer to Bloomington. So it seems to work out okay. And being on a major interstate, it's, we still seem to get busy on a Saturday afternoon.
Yep. So from the very beginning, so what was the initial hook that got you into playing the arcade games or got you interested in them?
You know, my first exposure I was probably in about third grade, I would say. We moved to Bloomington Normal. I was from Minneapolis.
Mhm.
I'm embarrassed to say now. But we started going to a church called Grace Baptist Church, and they had this activity center, like a gymnasium. And there was a member of their church that owned a chain of donut stores, and he had games in all his stores. So he had some extra games, and he put some in the church. So I started playing. There was a Pong game he had in there,
Mhm.
just a cocktail Pong. It wasn't an actual Atari. It was one of those knockoffs. And then he had an air hockey, a foosball table, and then there was a pinball machine in the youth pastor's house. And he also had a pinball in his basement. He had a Nippet in his basement. So I became best friends with his son, Terry, because he was my age, and any kid with a pinball in his basement makes that's a good qualification for being a best friend. So that was kind of what got me really into playing them. And then, of course, I grew up in the 70s, so my parents got me a Sears, what did they call it? The VCS, which is their word for the Atari 2600. But
Yeah.
we got ours at Sears, of course.
Video
Um,
arcade something. Yeah, Sears Video
yeah,
Arcade. Yeah.
and so I had a lot of 2600 exposure, and that was, I suppose, that kind of helped me along the way. Probably one of the biggest things also then was I think it was around 78, my parents got me an Apple II Plus.
Mhm.
And that was transformational for me because not only did I play a lot of games, but I learned AppleSoft Basic, which, did you grow up with an Apple II? Do you know AppleSoft Basic?
So I had exposure to an Apple, yes. The Commodore 64, the Atari, although I was more of an Atari person, so I got a
Okay.
Atari 1200 XL. So I
Oh,
was messing with Atari Basic.
okay.
Uh, Eventually went to college and had to learn Basic, COBOL, and Pascal.
Mm,
Although I think the majority of companies was on C and C++, and the colleges just couldn't keep up with the business.
yeah. Yeah, I went to U of I in engineering, and they made me take Fortran and assembly language, and I think it was 6502 assembler. Maybe it was
Yeah.
8088. I can't remember which. Um, but I definitely took to programming. I mean, from the time that I was always an entrepreneur too. I mean, from the time I was in third grade, I had tons of little side businesses starting, I
Mhm.
mean, all the way going back to selling paper airplanes in grade school and repairing lawnmowers and you name it. But I got so good with that Apple, and of course Apple was so big in the schools back then that
Yeah.
all the schools had the Apples, and so I started writing software for my high school and selling it to the high school. for specifically like the chemistry department and the physics department, because they had all these labs and experiments they'd have us do. And I created these really cute interfaces where you could type in all your results and it would draw you a little graph. And then if you did it right, it would actually launch Choplifter for you to play. They didn't like that part, but I put little things in there like that.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, Easter eggs. But yeah, that really, and it's funny, I didn't realize I was a good programmer. I just figured it's everybody my age is learning to program. What's the big deal? And actually, I should mention, before we got the Apple II Plus, I actually learned to code on a Radio Shack. Is this, by the way, is this interesting or is this not what you're looking for?
I went through all this stuff like you did.
Okay.
Going to college, learning the code and electronic gadgets and
Yeah.
So yes, this
Okay.
I am interested.
Okay, so I learned on a Radio Shack TRS-80 Model 1, which is the one with the monitor, the keyboard, and then the cassette drive and the thermal printer.
Yeah,
And
I know that. The 3, we had the 3.
Oh yeah, with the disk drives.
Elementary school. Oh
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, and I was able to program something similar to Asteroids on that. The graphics, of course, on the TRS-80 were really bad. It was like 80 by 24 or something. But I was able to create a block that would move around kind of geometrically, and then you could fire at it. But anyway, so I didn't even realize I was a good programmer. And I went to school and I took programming classes. I was in electrical engineering though, so and I only did that. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I don't know how I ended up at U of I. I think there was a close family friend that said I should go into electrical engineering. So I was like, okay, whatever. I never went to class. I didn't study. I didn't do any of that. I was too busy trying to run businesses and stuff. And then I graduated and realized I hadn't learned anything, so I couldn't get a job doing that. But I had all these businesses that I was running. And so I just said, I'm just going to keep doing the businesses. And one of them was an amusement route that I had started while I was in college. And I don't know where I'm going with this, except that the amusement route after about 2 years of running that route, I realized I'm never going to succeed doing this because I'm not a drinker. I don't like going in bars. Yeah. So I didn't have any bar accounts. I also I don't really have an ethical problem with gambling myself, but I didn't want to be the guy that was owning and operating the gambling machines. So I realized after 2 years, the only way to succeed in the amusement business in Illinois in this era is to be in taverns and to have gambling machines. You're not going to make it putting games in pizza places and Mexican restaurants, which is all I had. So then I went and got a job.
Yeah, not now.
Say that again? Oh, yeah. No, and even when I started at the
okay. On your side, so I think I think you're good now. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and what was I going to say?
You're not going to make money putting video games in Mexican restaurants, pizza places, etc.
Right. Yeah. It just wasn't going to happen. So I had a huge collection of games already at this time. I mean, probably 700 games. I don't know. And they were mostly in mini warehouses and stuff.
Yeah.
I had 7 of the biggest mini warehouse units over in Champaign. So I found a building in McLean. I literally was driving through McLean for the first time in my life looking for accounts to put games in. And I saw a for sale sign on a building in the downtown. And the guy was there working on it. So I parked and went in and talked to him and ended up just buying the building from him on the spot because he was selling it on contract, which I needed. I didn't have any money, so I couldn't really get a loan. Mm-hmm. And it had a living space upstairs and a shop downstairs, which is exactly what I needed because my wife, I'd gotten married 2 years earlier, and my wife and I were living in my parents' basement. That's not a sustainable solution, as anyone
No.
would now tell you. I mean, we had our own kitchen and everything, so we were isolated, but still, you can only live with your parents so long.
Yeah.
So it was a perfect solution for me. So I bought that building on the spot, and we moved into it. And then I started. As soon as I moved to town, the guy that owned the grocery store in town immediately came over to talk to me. He was like, "Is there any chance you'd buy my building?" Because he had been losing money for years and he wanted out, but nobody wanted his building. So that building was perfect to store games in, and that's what I needed. It was about 7,000 square feet on the first floor, and then a 5,000 square foot basement. So we made a deal on the spot there too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I emptied all my warehouses in Champaign, brought them into McLean, and that's how I ended up in McLean. And then as I've been here, I've bought up as buildings come for sale. I try to buy them if I can. But anyway, yeah, the amusement business wasn't making it, so I decided to just find a job. And some lady that had given me, you're into cats, so
Yeah, I have
you can,
two. We're
yeah.
looking
Hey,
at
there's
footage.
somebody. Oh, okay.
This
Yeah,
is
that's.
Matty Mo's visit to Arcadia. Oh, I
Oh,
got
okay.
ahead. So this is
Yep.
going to be a walk through tour.
Yeah.
So the building you bought used to be a drugstore, or at least that's what
Well, yeah.
this
If you
painting on
go
front
back
says.
maybe 100 years ago. Yeah, when I bought that one, it was a barber shop, and there was a neon repair place, and then it was just empty the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was maybe the third or fourth building I bought in town. Um,
I should
but
backtrack a little.
anyway,
I should backtrack a little
yeah, I
bit.
wish.
What was the? We're talking about where you're at, getting the buildings, but
Yeah.
what was the first arcade game that you ever owned?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I basically lived at the arcade when I was a teenager. The one in downtown Normal, there was one called Electronics 101. It was one of those ballet arcades like the Aladdin's Castle, but when they put them on college campuses, they called them Electronics 101 to make it sound like a course.
Mm-hmm.
And that arcade would put its games for sale every year. And so I bought my first game was a Sega Star Trek, the color vector,
Mm-hmm.
and I got it for $99. And it's funny. I mean, now I know. At the time I had no idea about the technology of a Sega vector game, but it's kind of funny because before I could pick it up, the monitor burned up on it, and so
Oh.
yeah. But they felt like they owed me that game because I had already paid for it and signed all the papers. So they went and got me another Star Trek from one of their other locations and brought it, and it was like way nicer than the one I had bought. So that was just a real nice win for me. And
Stand
I
up or the
put that.
captain's chair? What's it?
It
The
was a
stand up?
stand up,
Okay.
stand up, and I think it was the Sega like system, the ConvertiCab version, not the dedicated with the nice curved control panel and all that. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I put it in the library at my parents' house, and it was great. That's one game I'm really good at because I played it a lot. I'm not very good at games, to be honest, as a player, because that's not really what I'm into. I'm not really into playing them. I like fixing them, buying them, selling them, operating them, but playing them isn't. I just don't have the time for that. But anyway, I'm really good at Star Trek. And then when I went away to college, for some reason, I gave that game to one of my buddies that I worked with at Red Lobster, Dewey Wills. He's still around somewhere. And I think he got rid of it. I think I talked to him maybe 20 years ago and asked if he still had it, and he said no, he'd sold it to somebody. So I don't know what happened to it. It'd be nice to have back the first game I ever owned, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I still, gosh, first arcade game I ever owned, I still have it. The Vanguard.
Oh yeah, that's a good game.
Uh, yeah, the back of my, I had a new garage built a few years ago, and with a back room solely to get the games I had out of the basement and on a ground floor, so I don't have to deal with stairs if I ever got any more,
Oh yeah,
and free the space in the basement, of course. But yeah, moving an arcade game up and down the stairs, if you are not a muscular person, is very dangerous.
oh,
I'm
especially by
not.
yourself.
Well, it's no well, even with someone to help me.
Oh yeah,
But then again, it's only a two-man operation to get it out because the stairway is only so wide and or as wide the arcade game is as wide as the stairway. So
yeah,
yeah, they had to come out before I got too much older.
yeah,
Whew. And we're looking at the marquee wall, one of them. You're
yeah,
downstairs
yeah. I've
in
got a
front of
second
another
one.
one. Yes.
Y-
And I
Yeah.
look at this wall here and see how many of these games on this wall does Scalping Ghost not have? And there is a few on that wall.
Oh yeah. I just saw there was a gapless marquee there. I need a gapless marquee. I just restored a gapless that somebody put a Galaga 3 marquee in, and but I kind of made that marquee wall where I can't really get to the marquees without an immense amount of effort. So I guess I'm probably not going to take
Reproduction.
that.
Guess you can do a
Yeah,
reproduction.
I
Or,
suppose.
well, is the ROM set in the Galaga 3 have the Galaga 3 tile screen or the Galplus screen?
That's a good question. I can't remember. I think it says Galaga 3, but I've got a
Okay.
gapless board too. I could swap it.
Yeah.
I could plug it in. It's right. She's right here. She's waiting on.
Take
All I got to
this.
do is touch up where I. There were somebody had drilled some holes in the front, almost like they had a gun mounted there, like a light gun. I don't know. When
Hmm.
I got it though, it was back to being a Galaga 3. Let me plug it in and see what it boots up to.
Yeah, it would matter what it would boot up to. So if it's Galaga 3 ROMs, then it would make sense.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
Galaga 3. So yeah, you gotta keep that marquee on there unless
All
you
right.
swap the board
Yeah, that's fine.
for now, anyway.
That's right.
Oh, let's go back in here. So let me backtrack. I saw that joust. Oh, I can't get the mouse in play. There we go.
Oh yeah,
Got a
the joust
joust.
that is no longer in there. In fact, I actually sold it. I don't even own it anymore.
Uh, I know
I
Galvin Ghost has one.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I know one makes an appearance at the Pinball Expo every year too. So that is a real popular head-to-head game, and there's not too many of those in the
No,
pinball.
they're not.
No. So you got the first arcade game, which happened to be a Star Trek. From there, well, I guess the first, how, I guess you could recount the story about how you acquired the initial haul of arcade games.
Oh yeah, that is kind of what got me into the arcade business. I was originally just in the vending business when I was a freshman at U of I. I bought the pop machine from one of the sorority houses like
Mhm.
early on, like the first couple weeks of school, and I put that pop machine in my dorm room, and sold stuff out of it, obviously. And then from there, I started putting pop machines in my friends' dorm rooms, and then I started putting them in apartment complexes, anything to avoid going to class. Um, so I was really into vending. I wasn't into arcade at all. And I was getting so many pop machines that I needed somewhere to store them. And this would have been my junior year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still wasn't into arcade games until my junior year. I was living in an apartment on campus, and in the alley behind my apartment, there was this 2-car garage that was boarded up, like couldn't see in, no windows. And I kept walking past it thinking, man, that would be a great place to store my extra pop machines, because I had them in the courtyard at my apartment complex, which, let me tell you, they were not happy about. So I finally, I don't know if I went and got the plat map book and figured out who owned that little plat of land. And I called the guy, and sure enough, I got the right guy. And I said, hey, you've got this garage here, and I really need someplace to store stuff. Can I rent this garage from you? And he said, yeah, you can, but you're going to have to empty it out. It's full of junk. And I said, no problem. I'd love to. I didn't know what was in it. I was just going to throw it all in the dumpster next to it. So I cut the lock off of it and opened the door, and it was full of arcade games.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd be a kid. I was like, oh, Christmas came early.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm sure my jaw just hit the floor. And I mean, we're talking 15, 20 games in here. And this would have been in 1988. So they're all early 80s classics, like I know there was a Space Duel, an Eagle, stuff in that era.
Yeah.
I don't remember them all. Pac-Man Plus, I think, probably a Rally X, stuff like that. So I just started digging them out one at a time and wheeling them into the apartment and plugging them in, and hardly any of them worked. But anyway, that was kind of the beginning as I started tinkering with those and trying to fix them. And I quickly lost the allure of the vending machine after that, because I thought, man, these are just so much more fun. You can't really play a vending machine. And the vending machines are frankly a lot heavier and harder to move than the arcade games. If you think arcade games are hard to move, try moving like a Bendo 500 can pop machine.
Yeah, you have to empty it out first. Even then, it's heavy.
Even empty, it's probably 800 pounds. So, yeah, that was kind of what got me into it. And then, then I ended up filling that garage up with more arcade games. I started, of course, looking in the Thrifty Nickel and the newspaper, because this was before the internet.
Yeah.
And so I was buying all the games that I went around to all the local operators and bought all their old broken games out of their warehouses. And that's kind of how it all started. Started renting mini warehouses when I ran out of room, filling those up. And I mean, the majority of the really valuable, great, wonderful, rare games that I've acquired over my life were all acquired in that period from 88 to about 94, which is when the internet kind of started to take off. Because, I would find these people just using old phone books and call them up. And if you found an operator that had a warehouse full of games, he had no way to get rid of them, really. And they weren't making money anymore. They were just taking up space. You could, and they had not become collectible yet. Everybody knows there's like a bell curve to the collectible market. And these weren't old enough yet to be collectible. They were just commercial pieces of equipment that no longer made money.
Right.
So, I mean, I had so many scores where I would pick up just cherry classic games for $25 a piece, $50 a piece. It was great. And I didn't know for sure that they were going to be worth what they're worth now, but my gut instincts told me these have got to be worth something someday. They were so popular in the early 80s that someday those people are going to value them. So I just figured any penny I can scrape together to pay for storage and to buy as many of these. My parents were absolutely livid with me. They thought I was insane. They were constantly doing interventions with me. John, they were paying for my college, and they're like, John, we're paying for you to go to college so that you can learn to be an engineer and get a good job. We're not doing this so that you can be running around the state, picking up old broken wooden cabinets and putting them in warehouses and going into massive debt on your credit cards. But I just told them, trust me, it's going to all work out. It's going to work out someday.
Electronics repair is related. It's a related field to electronic engineering. You got electronics repair is a part of it, or at least I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I can tell you, I didn't learn a darn thing at U of I that taught me anything about fixing arcade games. Because I mean, I was in computer engineering where we're learning how to design microprocessors. It was just so crazy advanced. But
Well,
some of the basic,
the microprocessor is part of the PCB on the in the
yeah,
arcade game. So
yeah. But I mean, I did learn how to read schematics, and I learned how transistors work, resistors and capacitors, and all those basic components. And so in that sense, I guess I did learn some useful stuff.
yes,
But really, nowadays, you don't need that.
I certainly need it. I never. All I ended up doing was learning. I went to school to learn to be a programmer. Unfortunately, the way the industry has gotten a shifted from coding to basically deployment, troubleshooting, and stuff. So now
Oh,
I'm deploying. I was deploying the laptops that goes into state troopers' cars
oh,
for quite a
interesting.
bit of time. Now I've been troubleshooting people's Windows installs and their
Oh man,
devices malfunctioning. It's like, and why is it? What's this error? Why is it crashing on them? And just diagnosing, and you know, it's easier to do that
that
than
sounds
to write code.
yeah, that sounds like hell to me though. Trying to keep old Windows PCs working, man.
Oh, we're on Windows 11 now. We had to get last summer was get everybody off Windows 10, get them migrated to Windows 11. That was an ordeal.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Thousands
I'm
of machines all over the state.
wow. So you work for the state then?
Yes.
Okay. I'm still working or running Windows 2000. To be honest, I love Windows 2000. I'm running it in parallels on a MacBook Pro that before they came out with the new what is it, the RISC processor or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because I wrote a whole bunch of code to run my business back in the late 90s. All my inventory control and invoicing and tax software. I wrote it all using Fox Pro, and that'll only run on Windows 2000 and older. So when that stopped,
Really? One not compatible with, man, you can't run it in compatibility mode. That's interesting.
no, you can't. It's hell. I'm gonna have to just have AI rewrite it all one of these days because
That's that's another thing. AI. How much
yeah,
is that going to be taken over? It's like that. I didn't even go into I didn't even mention this the earlier about Sarah Bond leaving Microsoft Xbox CEO position. The person who took over came from the OpenAI
oh really,
or the Copilot AI side of the Microsoft. So, uh, what's the future
yeah,
going to look like for Xbox? I don't know. I don't own it. I'm not an Xbox guy. I'm more a Nintendo, but now I'm on the
yeah.
classic arcade kick right now. So,
Uh, I've got a Switch and a PS5. I've never had an Xbox.
well, I got one.
I got
I got 360 in the closet that was given to me, but
um,
I just have not made use of it because my focus has been on classic arcade games, not console
yeah.
lately. So,
I got really hooked on Horizon Forbidden West and Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm glad I finished both those games just because I was going home from work every day and sitting there for 2 or 3 hours. Just
mhm.
they're pretty. I like those open world games like that where you can just do whatever you want, just like I do in life. Just do whatever I want, go wherever I want, and you don't have to follow somebody else's story if you don't want to.
So, jeez. So you got the collection. Eventually you made your way over to McLean. You got your first building. The other buildings started coming up for sale. Um, Gosh, I guess you can kind of reflect on how that kind of progressed over time. Did
Yeah.
you have in mind what you wanted to do with them? And
You know, well, okay. Early on, my dream was to have one of every game ever made and to open a big arcade like a Galloping Ghost.
mm-hmm,
Um, but this was before the internet, before anyone knew how many games were made. It,
mm-hmm,
this is an interesting era. The only thing that existed in the early 90s, there was a paper list that was just photocopied on like 20 sheets of paper and stapled together. I had it, a few other guys had it, and it was like by manufacturer, these are all the games that these manufacturers made.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Kind of
that
the
was
early
that was
version of
basically
Clove.
exactly that was it was the early version of Clove, and I looked at that list and I was like, okay, this is doable. This is like under 1,000 games, like maybe 700, 800 games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then when Clove came around and I saw how many games there really are out there, uh, I'm one of those guys. If you can't, if you can't do it all the way, there's no point. So I just gave up on that dream. I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do then. I just was OCD about collecting games and just filling them in buildings. And I didn't really have any plan of doing this Arcadia thing. I tried in around 2000. I opened an arcade in McLean in the same building it's in now.
Yeah.
And it was open for about 3 months. It made like $100 the first month and like $2 the next 2 months. And it was
Mm-hmm.
nothing but problems. The kids would go in there and have fights and vandalize and piss on the floor. And I just said, that this isn't going to work. I shut it down. And I said, I'm never doing that again. And I had also, because I was an operator, I even though when I was working as a programmer, I still had a route with about 30 locations. You know, all the Mexican restaurants, they're the only people that are willing to have a game put in there, you know.
Right.
So I had games all over the place that didn't make much, and I had set up so many arcades in little towns, Downs, Leroy, uh, Lexington. I mean, all the towns around Central Illinois, I'd had an arcade in. They never make anything. I finally got to the point where I was like, why am I doing this? I mean, it was good exercise, but I wasn't making any money. But at the time, I needed places to put games just to justify how many I owned. So that kind of helped. But anyway, I never ever thought that I would be sitting where I am today, right now, with my whole life kind of focused on a big arcade in McLean. I never thought it. I went, I'll try to make it brief, but how this ended up happening, when I was programming, my best friend got a job out at a startup in California in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to help him move out there. And so I rented the truck and drove him out there to San Jose. And while I was there, his boss, they were desperate for people in 99. Anybody that knew how to, type hello world, they'd hire. And I was actually a pretty good programmer, to be honest. I had risen in the company I was working for. They had hired me to be a copier tech. And within like a year, I was leading the IT department and had like 21 programmers reporting to me. So I was a pretty good coder. I didn't realize it until I got to that job. But anyway, so that guy interviewed me and he offered me a job making 2.5 times what I was making back in Illinois. So I just immediately called my boss and said, that's it, I'm done. Bye. And my wife had a job back here too. But they wanted me so bad out there in California that they were like, well, have your wife call our chief marketing officer. So she called that person and they offered her a job making like 1.5 times what she was making. So we both moved out there. Boy, I said I was going to make this brief. Anyway, I spent some time doing the internet startup thing.
Mm-hmm.
I did my own startup at one point for a couple of years, raised some angel investor money, lost all the money. We didn't make it. None of the startups I worked for made it. We lost everything, came back to Illinois penniless.
Mhm.
but I still had all these buildings and all these games. And I was really frustrated because the startup had failed and I had spent 2 years working like 16-hour days trying to make this startup work.
Mhm.
And I was so burned out. I just said, that's it. I am going to do something else. My wife and I were actually thinking of becoming missionaries. We were really into Russia at the time. So we were thinking, hey, let's go be missionaries in Russia. But I need to learn some skills. They're not going to need an arcade guy and they're not going to need a programmer in Russia. They're going to need somebody that can do like practical things. So I took one of the buildings in McLean and said, I'm going to learn plumbing. I'm going to learn electrical, heating and cooling, framing, drywall, all this stuff. So that's what Arcadia is. Arcadia was me spending 9 months learning all those skills. I did everything in there. I refinished the floors. I built the walls. I did the plumbing myself, and I can't believe it. It all works. It doesn't leak. And this was with
It's an
copper too. And
accomplishment.
yeah, it was. I mean, I'm patting myself on the back. I'm proud that I was able to figure that out. I did all the wiring myself. I did the HVAC. Now I had to buy the HVAC equipment from somebody else. I couldn't make my own furnace, but anyway, all that stuff I learned and did. And I wasn't, even at that point, I wasn't planning to open an arcade. I just wanted to remodel the building and I was going to just put it for rent and maybe put a coffee shop in there because I had already tried the arcade in McLean and I knew bad news. You do not want an arcade in McLean, nothing but trouble. So I got it finished and I like put a for rent sign in the window. Nobody's calling. I thought, well, in the meantime, I'm just going to fill it up with games and plug them in.
Mhm.
And I'll just open it in the morning and I'll close it at night. And if people come in and put money in, and I put cameras all around. I'm going to put cameras all around and watch this thing. And
Yeah.
hopefully there's no monkey business, but it's not going to take any of my time. I'm not hiring anybody to work here. I'll just open it and close it. And if it makes, $50 a month, then it'll help pay the utilities. And so I did. I filled it up with all my favorite video games, no pinballs, because I was really a video game guy, not a pinball guy.
Yeah.
And I've still got the handwritten sign. I went to Office Max and got one of those little white poster boards, and I wrote Arcade Museum in magic marker, and I put it above the door. And then I went out by the interstate, and I put another one in the ground by the interstate that says Arcade Museum with an arrow. That lasted about 2 days before somebody ripped it up and threw it away. But anyway, and so that's how it started. And it didn't make it. It was just like I expected. Hardly anybody came in and it hardly made any money. I was lucky to make $100 a month, but I
They
just
didn't know
kept,
about it.
yeah, nobody knew about it. And I wasn't going to do advertising because I just thought, why? Who's going to drive to McLean to go to an arcade? I'm not going to advertise this. So I just kept opening it and closing it because I didn't, why not? I'm there working anyway. It takes me 5 minutes to turn the key and flip all the breakers on. And I think it was when somebody suggested I put it on Facebook. I'm not much of a social media guy, but I was like, yeah, that'll take me a half hour. Okay, fine. Let's snap some pictures, created a page, put it on Facebook. And then all of a sudden, people had an easy way to say, hey, I found this really cool place. You need to come and check it out. And all of a sudden, traffic starts coming in.
This is what year?
This was probably 2011. I opened it in 2009, and it didn't make a penny until maybe 2011.
Yeah, I think I came across it in 2010.
Oh, wow.
I think I did. At least I have video on my account of such somewhere.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty early. I'd love to see it because I don't even remember what it looked like back then, but I didn't take enough pictures. I should have. But I also, as soon as it started to catch on, then people were making lots of comments. I had a little comment box they could drop comments in. And I started taking people's suggestions. I took out all the games that were my favorite games because I have horrible taste in games, apparently, and started putting in the games other people wanted in there. And then, pinballs, people wanted pinballs. So I started filling it with pinballs. And now it's nothing.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to get it up real quick. I think I told her to click another tab. This is it. You
Uh,
shove it on the screen.
uh,
By the way, how are you feeling? Because you kind of gave me a
yeah.
clue.
Oh,
Clue that
yeah.
this is August of 2010. Wow.
Okay, that's pretty
This
early
is
because I hope
before you got the neon sign up.
it's still got the paper sign, I think, that says Arcade
Oh my
Museum.
gosh. I don't remember this either. I know I
Wow.
saw the Pac-Man.
Yeah,
Man,
that Pac-Man sign I actually got from a operator in Bloomington, Indiana. He had it custom made for one of his arcades. I think I gave him $300 for it or something.
I know. Okay,
Wow.
I think I remember why I was around here is because there may have been a
Oh
wrestling show
yeah.
nearby, and I just happened to come across it.
Wow, I forgot I had Donkey Jr. in there. Wild. And at Target Alpha, that was a home use only Target Alpha. Man, that thing played so
That
good
that's
until it
been
was
there
in there for
forever.
10 years.
And this row right here has pretty much stayed
Yes.
the same.
That's the same. Let me see. Yeah, so far those are those games, and believe it or not, those games have not gone down. I'm telling you, that stuff that they made in the early 80s, I haven't had a monitor problem. I haven't had a board problem. The Galaga just now is starting to get a RAM error, but I just reboot it and it's fine. I'll eventually take it out and put new RAMs in it. But yeah, all those games have been working without a problem. I did have to replace the encoder chip on the spinner on the Tron, that 74 LS 491 chip that always goes bad and you
Yeah.
can't find anywhere. But yeah, yeah. So some games have stayed the same. That row, there was no point ever changing it. Crystal Castles, wow.
That got moved to another part of the building. I think it got moved to the back. Not
Now
sure.
it's actually in one of the Airbnbs now. It's
Here's a
gone.
double Duramold.
Yeah, that's it here in Arcadia Unlimited with me. Oh, and that Monte Carlo is here too. Oh yeah, and there's a 8 Ball Deluxe. I've still got one of those or a couple of them. That's a good game.
Now, a couple years later, I did run across the Route 66 arcade too, and that was in Atlanta.
Yeah, that was mine too, but I I bought that building maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I was thinking of moving everything there because they're doing so much to try to promote tourism and everything. But
Hmm.
I changed my mind and decided to just focus on McLean, and I sold the building.
Okay,
It,
so the games are out of that building.
yeah, it's gone now.
Okay, so that's no more. All right. You also had a warehouse over there too. I remember that, and you had the arcade auctions going on.
Yeah, I've still got that, and I've added some buildings there. I've got 3 buildings there now that are just auction house or warehouses.
Yeah, I want tempted to bid on some of these arcade auctions, and then the problem became, okay, if I won one of these auctions, how would I get it home? Because I don't have a truck. I have a
Oh, well, yeah,
Prius.
I'll I'll help you. I'm happy to deliver it for you. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, there's an Empire Strikes Back, and I had never played it prior to finding it here, and then just did a standalone video on that game.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of these that you're seeing in this video are now down here in the basement with me. They're going to be in Arcadia Unlimited.
Yeah, this
Grab it.
particular row here, all got replaced by pinballs. So
Yeah.
it's now a pinball row. The neighboring building I think the neighboring building to the right and the Airbnb did not open until when? Your first major
The
expansion.
yeah, the first expansion was maybe in 12 or 13, and then Pinball Paradise I think was 2016.
Yeah. I did
Wow,
get,
Circus Trail.
yeah. That's actually in the back room now. Last I saw it.
No, not anymore. I replaced it with Qbert, and now it's here in the basement with me.
Okay. So there's more changes to come.
Yeah, you need to come and check out Arcadia. Just I've rotated a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think I was over there a month ago. I drove up on my way up, but I was kind of running late, so I just cruised around the triangle.
Oh,
um,
okay.
just last weekend. But yeah,
Yeah, I wish I still had that blueprint. I sold that, but I've still
you've
got the
had
bench here.
yeah. God, yeah. The next acquisition was a bank. The place that the Meyer was not going. That game's working
Yeah,
now. I know it's still in there. Um,
yeah,
oh, a four-player demolition derby. I didn't get.
yeah,
I forgot you had that one. The stand-up
yeah.
is like or two player
Two
only.
player, yeah, yeah. I've still got that. I need to. It'll be in unlimited eventually. It's not there yet,
Yeah,
and that, yeah.
yeah. This is hard to keep. Yeah, that is 1976. Galloping Ghosts has had. I did get the highest possible score on that one, so that
Oh, did you?
go
Okay.
me. Per well, yeah, you can only tie for the highest possible score as after you jump so many cars. It just the game ends naturally as one
Oh, I didn't
CC.
know that.
Yeah, stunt cycle. I think you have to jump after a certain number. Yeah, it's considered a one CC. The
Okay.
game ends. Gosh. So when you okay, so once the Facebook post came out, uh, people started showing up to the arcade. Jeez. How did things change in your mind? That you were going to go full throttle on this.
Um, it still took me a little bit of time, I think, to decide to go full throttle, but um,
Let's see if I can advance this a little bit. Yeah, there's Space Zap.
oh yeah,
GGA has that. I think that's the cabaret version. No?
yeah,
Yeah, it's the cabaret version.
yeah, it is. The upright's not much bigger.
No.
Yeah, I don't know at what exact time I decided, yeah, this is what I'm gonna go full bore at, but at some point in those next couple of years, I thought, okay, oh well, yeah, I see at this point the thing is I spent about 30 years of my life just really scraping by financially. I mean, because all these buildings I bought were either on contract or they're on these commercial loans, and I
Mm-hmm.
was in debt up to my eyeballs for up until really like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and so I don't want to get into numbers, but the amount of money I needed to make every month just to pay the minimum payments on all the credit cards and all the building payments and the insurance and the property taxes and the utilities was an immense amount of money. And my wife didn't work. She stayed home and homeschooled our kids. So I had a lot of pressure on me every day to make as much money as I could. And the arcade, even today, the arcade doesn't make that much money, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
if I had a couple employees in there all the time, I wouldn't make a penny. They'd make everything and I'd break even. So it still doesn't really make that much money. So what I had to do was I was buying and selling games, and anybody that's like watched me on eBay knows I'm the guy that tries to get $1 billion for games that are worth $1 million, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but that's kind of one of my skills is getting a lot of money for things. It's a talent that God blessed me with, being able to buy things cheap and sell them high. And not
Mm-hmm.
just games, all kinds of stuff. I sell all kinds of collectibles and anything I can. I've always been a wheeler dealer since I was like 5 years old. So, um, and I'm completely ethical. I'm not stealing or robbing anybody or cheating anybody. I'm just, through marketing, through buying things that are broken, fixing them, restoring them, and then marketing them properly. So few people market things properly, that it's
Right.
pretty. I mean, I'm trying to teach my daughter, my youngest daughter now, you could make a living easily. Just pick any niche of collectible item, buy the
Mhm.
ones on eBay that people are marketing poorly, and then relist them, marketing them properly. You can double your money on almost anything.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but
pretty much the trend in the retro gaming scene right now.
yeah,
Is
you could.
flipping them like a house.
Yep, I believe it. You can do it with anything because there's a lot of people out there that just don't know how to sell things. So anyway, so yeah, of course I wanted my arcade to keep growing and all that, but I couldn't really focus on it. I needed to focus on buying and selling stuff as fast as I could to keep up with all these payments. Well, finally, about 3 years ago, I would say I finally got my head above water because all these commercial loans, you
Mhm.
know, finally I got to the end, the last payment on them. And as soon as I paid off the first one, then I could start applying more money to the other ones and paying them off faster. I mean,
Yeah.
I at one time I was in debt over $1 million. I know I've gotten up to like 130 to 150,000 on credit card multiple times in my life, just because
Gee.
it's so much easier to borrow money on credit card than it is from a bank. Banks are just really hard to borrow from, and
Yeah.
my parents are hard to borrow from. They have loaned me money over at times, but not a lot, just small amounts.
Mhm.
So really, credit card was the way to go. But then you're fighting the interest, and you're constantly
Yeah.
having to move money from one credit card to another. So I
Mhm.
spent 30 to 35 years of my life doing that rat race, and finally, about 3 years ago, I got those commercial loans paid off, and now it's like smooth sailing because I can really focus on. That's when I started on Arcadia Unlimited, because it's like, okay, now I finally have some money coming in that I don't have to immediately spend out. I'm going to put it into this building, and I've put a fortune into this, because this grocery store building, I mean, the roof was caving in, the patio was falling in, needed foundation work. I mean, it needed a lot. I've probably put 300 grand into it in the last 2 years. So
I do recall being in there one time before, well before you even thought of turning it into unlimited. You kind of took me on a
okay,
tour of that building. Uh, well, because I wanted to see an arcade warehouse of all
yeah,
these, because I was seeing Doc Mack go on all these warehouse raids. I've seen other people do these warehouse raid videos. Oh gosh, John Jacobson out in the East Coast, he would do these he's done several videos on these raids of warehouses, and I wanted to go on one of these just just as an observer, not that I was going to
yeah,
buy anything. I wanted to be maybe, I don't know, the camera crew. Heck,
yeah.
although now that I picked up a 360 camera, now I'm going to want to. Now I have even more of a selling point. Is go on a warehouse raid and look at look at the stashes in 360 video.
Yeah. Well, if I ever do another one, maybe I'll have you come along to video it, because I never video them. I don't know if I'm ever going to do another one though. I mean, I've got so many games now and I'm getting old. But if I ever come across another one, I'll look you up.
I know Troy Smith has a warehouse too, and I've been in his place a few times.
Oh yeah.
Somebody in Jacksonville, but yeah, I keep begging Doc Mack to let me come on one of these raids, and he hasn't
Really?
let me yet.
Wow.
he, even when he's downstate in this neck of the woods. I
Huh.
think he's at the end of this video, so I'll take this down. You've sold a lot of games to Doc Mack.
Yeah, quite a few. I don't know, at least 10 or 20, maybe more.
I know he told me the Road Blaster story where he thought you had a copy of the Laserdisc game.
Oh yeah. I don't know why he thought that. I never said I had the Laserdisc one. Yeah.
Well, the difference is just one letter and the manufacturer, but uh,
Yeah.
You have the Airbnb too, and I did get to see inside there because the Midway Monster crew rented it out
Oh yeah,
as a place to stay during Illinois GameCon weekend. Um,
Right. Yeah, 2 summers ago.
you and it's real nice in there. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
lot.
that was. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's a lot. I assume that gets a lot of usage.
Yeah, it's definitely the most rented one we've got, and it that got us through COVID because during COVID, of course, the arcade had to shut down, and I wasn't really making much of anything. But
Yeah.
that Airbnb saved us because it was like a vacation people were willing to take
Hmm.
close by, and they didn't have to fly to it, and so it was booked a lot. And man, that definitely kept our bills paid for a good year and a half during that crisis.
And it's got an arcade in the basement.
Yes. Yep. About 15 games.
15 games, a lot of videos, a lot of books, like a library, board games.
Yep. Lots of VHS tapes, which no longer work in the VHS player upstairs. I need to just get rid of them. But yeah. Yeah. All my old books and DVDs and everything are in there. It's great having a place to put stuff when my wife is like, honey, we need to tidy up around here and get rid of all the stuff we're not using. Great. I'll just take and haul it and put it in one of the Airbnbs.
So here's the next question. Well, we're not at the Unlimited building yet. You kind of conveyed the biggest challenges and hardships throughout. It's just basically fighting debt. Um,
Yeah.
what about holy grails?
Yeah.
What is your holy grail in your collection?
Well, for the first few years when I got into this, my grail was probably what a lot of people's was Major Havoc. And it wasn't because I knew it was collectible and rare. It was because when I was in high school, I went and visited a close family friend in Indiana, and he and I went out every night to this pizza place and played Major Havoc. And it was so fun. I mean, we played it like from dinner till they closed because we were having so much fun on it. And from that time on, I never saw another one. And so that was my grail, was finding a dedicated Major Havoc. I did eventually find. I found one. I think over time I've owned maybe 4 or 5 of them,
Mm-hmm.
and numerous conversion ones in like Space Duels and in Tempest cabinets. But that was my big grail. And then after I got that, let me think, some other grails. I was always a big Chicken Shift fan, although every time I play it, I get so frustrated and I don't want to play it again for a couple years. So,
Yeah, GGA has
um,
that one.
oh
I
yeah,
did get one, which is I tried it. It's it's yeah, it's a pattern game.
the thing I love about it is the cuteness of the graphics, and the music is so cute. The sounds those chicks make, and the music. But in the meantime, while you're trying to enjoy the music, you're like having to work those levers and keep the eggs from falling, and it's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. Um, what other grails?
I know you have a Defender with prototype artwork.
Yeah, I do have that. That's going to be, or it is down here in Unlimited. Yeah, I just stumbled on that thing, and I've probably told the story many times. Have you heard the story about how I thought it was, I thought that was aftermarket art that like Willis made. It wasn't an original Defender. And
Mhm.
so I had it in my collection of like 8 Defenders that I had picked up. And so I was just waiting for the sucker that would come along and buy that one, not knowing that that's not really Defender art. And so I found a guy that was willing to buy it with that artwork on it. And I was like, oh, wow, I got him to buy that Defender with it. Doesn't have original side art. Well, then I see the flyer for Defender and it's got that art on it. You know, the flyer has the prototype art. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what have I done? So I tried to trace that guy down. He had moved to Arizona, but he had sold it to his neighbor. Call his neighbor. His neighbor had sold it to somebody else. But I did eventually find the guy who bought it. And what won't shock you is it was broken because Defenders are almost impossible to keep working. So he sold it to me for, I don't know, $300 or $400, and it's back in the fold. And I've got it in here running on the original, still got the original boards in it. I don't know if they're prototype boards or not. I don't know. There's probably no difference between prototype
Didn't
boards.
look to be any difference.
Okay.
There looks to be also a tapper with different artwork than the original official release too.
Yeah, they made,
Different
from what
expression.
I've heard they made like 100 of the first 100 had color artwork, and then the rest of them were the monochrome. So this is just one of the first 100 that I've got.
Well, the bartender had a strange expression on his face, like a
Yeah, I
shocked
think.
look or something.
Yeah, you're right. He's real cartoony on the color one, whereas on the monochrome one it looks more vintage and more realistic.
Mhm.
Maybe it's kind of like the root beer tapper art. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Any oddities in your collection? The real
Oh,
oddballs.
I've got a one of two real oddball called J-Copter. It's a it's kind of like the old whirly bird, stunt bird, or whatever that with the helicopter that you try and fly around and land on things. Only this one was made by the J-Copter Corporation up in Canada. They made it in the 60s, and it was actually a prototype that they were going to try and sell to the military. They were going to try and sell them like full-sized ones to train people how to fly helicopters without the risk of them crashing. So they made like 14 of these giant ones that are, it's something like 6 foot by 6 foot. It's this big cube, not cube, like globe,
Yeah.
clear globe. And you sit on this seat in this helicopter. It's a big helicopter in there that you fly. And they destroyed all of them except the one I've got and another one that a guy out in San Diego has. And I picked it up. It was in Indiana Beach. I got lucky, and the guy that owned all the games in Indiana Beach called me about 30 years ago, and he wanted to clean out his barn, and I bought every game that he had, and that J-Copter was one of them. So that is a real oddity, and someday it works. I'll have it in one of my arcades. I've got another expansion planned after Unlimited where I'm gonna put all the big deluxe stuff I've got, because I've got all these huge deluxe games, but I can't afford to put them in my current places because they take up too much room, you know?
Yeah.
Let me think of other oddities.
I know. I know you had a few really rare, kind of golden, Bronze Age games that showed up at the or was auctioned off, and I know somebody I know got some of those, and in his
Yeah,
place, because his arcade is full of oddities.
yeah.
You
Are you
might
talking about
know who.
Andy Weaver?
No, he has the same last name as I do.
Let me see. Oh,
Taylor.
Taylor, yeah. Oh my gosh, he's got a great collection of games. I need to
Yes.
talk to him about partnering and somehow get those games in this. I mean, he's got games I'd love to have in Unlimited, man.
Well, he was on the quest to recreate Enigma 2.
Oh, wow.
I think he did accomplish that, but I
Oh yeah,
was running across Enigma 2 cabinets in strange places, like, and the
yeah,
person who owned it didn't even, one showed up at Midwest Gaming Classic, and I saw the cabinet, it had Tetris in it, and I knew what it was. I knew it was
yeah.
Enigma 2 because I actually played one.
Oh
In
wow.
Jason Kopp has one.
Oh
I've
yeah.
played one down in, gosh, Texas at a game convention. So, yeah, I knew what it was. The owner probably didn't, and I clued them in and the eventual buyer.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played Enigma 2. I've seen it. I've got a game that's a I think a extreme rarity called Steering Champ. It's a Konami game from '97. Um, it was called Handle Champ, I think, in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if it was ever released here. I don't know. All I know is I had to have Ken at I Repair Sega fix the board for me, and it took him like a day to even figure out what the game was. He said he had never heard of it, didn't know anyone that knew anything about it, and it was a miracle he was able to resurrect the board because it's got one of those RTC chips. And
Here
it
we go.
was, yep, there. This is it.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
a good game, by the way. I can tell you why it's rare. Most games, I tell people, most games that are rare for a reason. It's because they stink. This this is still an interesting game to play though, because it's a bunch of mini games where you compete head to
Mhm.
head, but it's just the stuff you do is so stupid. It's laughable.
Kind of like early, like Mario Party before it was even thought of, I guess. Or
Yeah, it is like it's a Mario Party kind of thing. Only you're using just the steering controller and the gas pedal. And sometimes there's a challenge where you're just using the gas pedal, like blowing up a balloon by stomping on the gas pedal. So
yeah, this bowling game is a little is kind of interesting. Driving down the lane.
I know the weird thing is the graphics are so bad on that car on the lane. I don't understand why. I'm gonna I'm gonna walk over just to show you the steering champ because it's a really cool looking cabinet. I'll even turn it on.
While you're on your way over, jeez. So, Arcadia Unlimited, um, it is going to be daytime or day admission, correct?
Yes,
Or is
it's
this
gonna
per
be
quarter?
yeah, it's gonna be probably like 15 admission and then free play all day.
Yeah.
And it'll be at least it's going to start with just over 200 games and then I'm going to keep going till I get to like 250, basically till the basement's full. Then I'm going to work on phase 2, which will be another 3 or 400. Here's the steering champ.
Hold on, let me get that full screen. Whoops. Oh, you
Yeah,
might want
there
to
we
get
go.
closer. There it is.
Why
Oh
can I
yeah,
not aim it?
original dedicated cabinet. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
and it's the wheel's got this bend. It's got this bend in the wheel because it only turns this far.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's something that not many other arcades have. I doubt Doc has one, but maybe he does. I don't know.
It is not on the arcade floor. I know that much.
Okay.
I don't. I've learned. Well, Doc has given me grief for claiming or saying that he doesn't have Beezer and doesn't have a copy of Beezer.
Oh
Do you have Beezer?
no, I've never even heard of Beezer to be honest with you.
Okay.
Other than from you, I've heard you talk about it, but I don't know what
Where's
it is.
Winners and Losers out in North Carolina got a copy of the game. It's a trackball game where you're turning gates and trying to trap bees inside a hexagon without trapping yourself.
Okay.
And it didn't do very well. It was sold as a conversion kit for Galaxian and Pac-Man and maybe Galaga.
Oh, okay.
But it's
Okay.
controlled by a trackball. So
Interesting.
it was produced by the same company that produced Pot of Gold, but it was distributed by Game Plan.
Oh, yeah. That
So
was
this,
another game plan.
yes. Somebody's asking, do you have Championship Sprint? I think you do. I
I
do
do.
recall having it.
I've got a beautiful one right here. I'll
There we have it. And it's the two-player version. I know there's a
yeah, I've also got the 3-player Super Sprint, but that's in Arcadia
Yeah,
across the street.
yeah. What will be the price of admission when you do open?
I'm planning 15, and I haven't really thought it all through, so there may be a cheaper price for like little kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but for adults it'll be 15.
Have you after this place opens, have you ever held any tournaments or thought of having tournaments here?
I would love to have tournaments, and all I need in order to do that is somebody who's willing to handle it 100%. Because I don't want anything to do with it simply because I'm busy enough. I don't need to take on another thing, but I would love to have somebody that wants to run tournaments here. I did early on. There was a guy that used to organize pinball tournaments in my place, and I hosted them and facilitated it as far as opening the machines and doing whatever he needed me to do. So
Mhm.
I'm happy to host tournaments, but I need somebody to completely spearhead it, like a Stephen Lucas kind of person.
Yeah, and I'd have to have an internet connection and then
We've
set up
got that.
track something to track the scores with, which would be kind of what Doc Mac has the Arcade site. I'd probably have to ask Claudio to help me on this. Claudio Capello to help me on this one because he's close by. Um, and maybe find a few other people out of the gaming scene in Springfield or Bloomington.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, just let me know.
yeah. Will you do any score tracking? I don't think you've done that either.
No, I have to confess, I'm not. There's there's so many different facets to the amusement industry and to what different people are into, and there's like a group of people like yourself that are really into the score aspect of gaming.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people. I am though. I mean, for people like you, I am trying to put as many of those high score save kits in my games as I can, just so
Mhm.
that at least the games will keep the high scores rather than lose them every time I turn them off.
Now, if somebody wanted to do, let's say, challenge a world record for Twin Galaxies, you would be able to accommodate such a endeavor.
I mean, what would I have to do other than give them
Well,
access to the machine?
access the machine and then set up some sort of means of. Well, you may not have to set up the means yourself, but if they wanted to stream it live,
Oh yeah, yeah,
if they want to be able to do that, and then
yeah. I'm
be able,
happy to do that.
and also,
I've got high speed internet in all the buildings.
oh, okay, yeah, I'll have to figure out the Wi-Fi thing in the future. The next time I'm up there,
Okay.
do you have any more arcade auctions upcoming?
Yeah, as soon as I get this open, I am doing my next Arcadia auction, which will be number 6, and I've got some really unique stuff to put in that. Um, as unique and rare and old as any of the stuff I've ever sold. So
Ah,
it'll be a good one.
all right. Anything? I forgot to plug the websites. Daggone it! I had this loaded up. Let me get back. Let me get back to this other screen here. This is the web page for Vintage Video Games, which is your website. It has previews of the arcade, the Airbnb, several pictures of that, information about repairing arcade games, which I think you got that on hold at the moment.
No, no,
Um,
we're still doing that. Actually, my buddy Jeff. Do you know my friend Jeff? He's that real tall, blonde-haired guy that I call him my sidekick because he's usually with me.
I don't know. I mean, if I
Okay.
saw his
Yeah,
face,
I don't
maybe
know.
I could.
I met him at an amusement auction back in the early '90s, and we've just been friends ever since. But
Mhm.
he's living here now in McLean, and he and I have kind of partnered on the service end of things. That's why I started that Arcadia service. So he does all the outside service work, and then I do the inside service work if people bring games to us.
Mhm.
But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and this website, your website has pictures of everything in here. Yeah, here's the Airbnb with a
Yeah,
good overlook of downtown McLean. Great view.
yes,
And there's a picture of the basement. And yes, all new furniture, entertainment center. Um, yeah, a
yeah. It's got a
nice getaway place. Full
yeah,
kitchen.
yeah. That was actually designed as our dream home during one of my startups. I was making a lot of money at the time, and I thought, oh, I'm going to be rich. So I started doing that remodel, and then that startup went belly up within like a year, and I had this huge loan. I was like, oh, what now? But we
Oh, there's
finished
a
it, and we
patio.
lived in it for a while.
There's a patio over here too. I think I didn't
Yeah,
quite
that's
see all
behind
of
one
it.
of our other ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the hotel Arcadia Suites.
Yeah, that we call that one the suites. We've got 5 of them now. I need to update the website, and we're working on the 6th one.
And they got games in there. Yeah. I know you were wanting to know. I know you were under the weather, so yeah, I'm kind of
Oh yeah,
winding this down so you can get some rest because I just got over the same something similar this week.
yeah.
Kind of hit. So it's going to be in the 70s tomorrow.
I
So
know.
maybe the warm weather can knock whatever bug you have,
I
knock
hope
it out.
so. Yeah, it just started hitting me last night. It's just I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel myself.
Yeah, the common cold or gosh, allergy season, kind of a
Yeah.
double whammy. Well, anyway, um, and also let me throw the Facebook page up because that is also have this up here. Here we go. Facebook.com/IL Arcadia is the Facebook page. There's also an Arcadia Facebook group. You'll have to search on that one. Um,
Oh
some of
yeah,
the
like
other
a fan
share.
page.
Yes, it's a fan page. So, yep, it's McLean just off. Well, when you come to the
55.
Dixies, yes, you'll know where to turn off because there's a Dixie's truck stop there, and
Yep.
probably I think it's the only one in the state of Illinois.
It's the first truck stop in the nation for what it's worth, which is pretty
Really?
historic. Yeah. Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of historic itself, although when you go in there you can't really tell. It looks like every other truck stop, but
Yeah, it looks like a Road Ranger
yeah, when
almost.
Road Ranger, it used to have a bunch of historic information in it, but I think when Road Ranger bought it, they just redid it as a regular old Road Ranger.
Although the diner's still in there too, so and there is some nostalgia that can be seen in there. So,
Yeah.
all right, John, I want to thank you for coming in tonight and enduring the whatever bug you're dealing with, and
My
maybe
pleasure.
maybe it'll be a part two. Whenever you whenever you figure out this is going to be the day that this opens, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be up there
Okay.
for the grand opening.
Okay. That sounds great. Thank
Hopefully,
you for
nothing
the
else is going on.
yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. It's great to chat with you.
All
I
right.
wish you all the success in the world and
Yep.
your cats. I wish you good health for your cats.
Yes. They both made appearances in the pod tonight, so well,
Yeah.
thankfully
I'm a
they didn't take over the pod, but still.
I'm a cat guy too, but they're at home. They're not here, so
The cats might the cats may want to play the games too. I know mine did.
yeah. Probably.
All right. All
Well,
right.
thanks a lot.
Well, I hope to see you around the arcade soon. Either it's in McLean or maybe at Galvin Ghost or maybe one of the other arcades in the state of Illinois.
You won't see me at anywhere but at Arcadia. I don't go to other people's arcades.
Really? Have you been to
Yeah.
Galloping Ghost?
Nope.
You haven't.
I don't go to other people's arcades because it doesn't help me any.
You
I
should
mean,
go
it.
at least once. Just to the largest one in the country. I didn't mention this earlier. My neighbor owned an arcade
Oh, wow.
when I was growing up. I've been trying to. I've asked his daughter to get a message to him and try to get him on the pod because I want to reminisce about
Yeah.
my childhood past and being at his arcade and his experiences, but
Yeah.
nothing.
Huh.
So does that hasn't materialized yet, but he's in his 80s too. So I'm
You
hoping
better get
I
on
can
that.
get him. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to follow up, but yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Keep
my neighbor.
harassing him.
All right.
You got to.
Well, he's
All
on
right.
Facebook. I am harass his daughter. But anyway,
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Just interview his daughter. All right.
I don't think
Well,
she knows. But anyway, John, thank you, and thank you very much for coming on to Crimeycade, and have a good night.
all right. You too. See you.
All right. John Yates, the Arcadia, the America's Playable Arcade Museum. I will let everybody know when the grand opening will be coming up. I do have a few more slides to go through before we get out of here, and I got to get this. Share the screen. Where's share screen? Now I can't share the screen all of a sudden. Here we go. Sorry about that. I kind of get lost with all my slides and all the screens and all the extra browser windows I have. Arcade Wars, Galloping Ghost Arcade did take the win on Gunsmoke, led by A Train and Brian Skillo and Jeff Lucas just demolished the competition. March 2026, however, it looks like Galloping Ghost will have to sit out because the game of the month is Violence Fight, which is a beat 'em up. Galloping Ghost does not have this one on the arcade floor. Underground Retrocade and Garcade would be playing this game out of a multicade machine, so not on the original arcade hardware, which I kind of wish they would put games in the Arcade Wars that are on original arcade hardware to keep it fair instead of multicades and stuff. But oh well, Galloping Ghost has taken the win in January and February, but looks like they're gonna have to sit out in March. New house highs and world records, and yeah, I'm kind of stewing a bit because Andrew Owasco is taking more of my scores than I had. I had Tumble Pop for a day, and he promptly took it back. That was the only score I could take. Last weekend, I did complete my level 3 challenge card in one day, and I'm happy to have done that. So that took up most of my time on Saturday. I was trying to see whatever scores I could get Sunday, but Tumble Pop was the only one I could get. I was attacking other games, but just didn't get anywhere. Pete Hahn raced the world record on Gallop at 632K. Pete Hahn has also got the house high on Hyper Street Fighter 2, the anniversary edition, 1.4 million on that. Brian Skillo, I mentioned earlier, he's one of the early gamers at the Galloping Ghost. He had been gone for a few years. He made his way back fairly recently, and now he's taking a house high on a relatively new game on the floor, DD Crew. Yeah, there's a lot of games at Galloping Ghost I did not get to play because I saw my challenge card. Yeah, so Andrew has also won CC Big Karnak, just under 300 million. Today he took Kairos, and I did find out some stuff, and I'm going to have to cut a promo soon. Next week, or maybe, well, since weather's gonna be so great tomorrow, I think I'm gonna record a video and record a promo and make a statement. But the world records are not just at Galloping Ghost. Also, the Arcadery in the Czech Republic, Mikhail Kellner takes new world records on Strikers 1945. That's the first one in the series at 978,000. He also took the world record on Raiden, 3.2 million, and that was done last week. And yeah, the rankings are, yeah, I'm back down to 11th place after getting out, moving up to 10th with that tumble pop score, but not much. This has pretty much been set. But with Skillo back, I think he's going to be moving up fairly shortly. And the chase for tokens continues. C2E2, March 27th through 29th. There's been questions about whether there will be a tournament. When Galloping Ghost goes back there to the McCormick Center, I don't think there's going to be a tournament. Personally, I know James wants another belt. So do I. I don't know what I'm doing that weekend, but Louisville Arcade Expo also happening that same weekend. Triple Clown Pavilion. This Let's Go Retro is also happening that weekend, also in the Chicago area, but in Orland Park on Sunday, the 29th, from 10 to 4 p.m. Como Retro at the Northeast Event Center in McLean, Missouri on the 18th. And Midwest Gaming Classic, 24th through 26th. I'm going back there and I'm going to have my 360 camera. I'm going to walk the entire convention with this 360 camera and capture everything. 360. There'll be stuff in case I can pan the camera around and see what I missed walking around the convention floor. That'll take about a half an hour to walk around the whole thing. It took me about 10 minutes to do Galloping Ghost. St. Joseph RetroCon, June 2nd and 3rd in St. Joseph's, Missouri. Maybe I'll make an appearance over there. We'll see. Next week, my guest will be former Nintendo game counselor, formerly with Iron Fabtech, one half of Team Score Chasers with Richie Knuckles. He's also a Sony trophy designer and a member of the Aces Arcade League. Robert Razik, the Mr. Driller, world champion, also known as Sid Seattle. He'll be on the Crimeycade next week on March the 12th. And he's on Pacific time, so 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by the way, because of the time change. I do have a guest for the 19th. I have to make a graphic for it. I just locked it down today. I also have a guest for the 26th. I will be hunting for guests for the month of April. So that'll do it for the Crimeycade podcast, and I will be rating the channel. So while this music is going, I will see you next week. Let me see who I'm going to give the raid to tonight. I need to make a new intro too, because now that I've done this 360 camera, there's a lot of things I can do, kind of enhance the video experience. So, till next time, and yeah, I'm going to give the raid to the Rutherford again. He is playing Resident Evil Requiem. A lot of people are playing this game. This game is going to be the game of the year, hands down. little bit too gory for me, but nonetheless, until next time, hope to see you next week, and hope to see you around the arcade soon. Have a good night, everybody.